So let's get on with your reading. The first card that I have coming up for you as the underlying energy is the World. This is a card that signifies the successful completion of one phase in life. Now, some of you may be looking at this and thinking, I don't feel like I've been very successful, or things haven't been that great. But just the fact that you've endured so much, just the fact that you've gotten through so much, and the lessons that those experiences would have taught you, that's a successful completion. So the World card does indicate a transition, a change. But that change, it's gradual. It doesn't happen like overnight. It's not like, that phase ends now and the new one begins tomorrow morning. But what this card does ask you to do is to reflect over your successes, that no matter what you've been through, even if it's just patting yourself on the back that you survived whatever you've been through. I've been saying this to all of the signs that it felt like January wasn't the real beginning of the year. It feels like the real beginning of the year is now, since this Aquarius new moon that we had a few days ago, where we were, well, it was very much like the World card. It was that transitional phase. We were going from the energies of one year and starting the energies of the new year. That seems to be very much the energies right now of that new beginning. And for those of you that have been wanting change, desiring change, and not just like, mundane change, I mean like big change, starting a new chapter in your life, that's very much what the World card shows here. Coming up at the heart of your reading is the Hierophant. Now this position in your reading, it indicates that which everything else revolves around. It may be what's currently going on in your love life, or it may be what you're aspiring to achieve in your love life, where your focus is right now. And the Hierophant is very much a card about tradition, about customs, rituals. This is going to mean so many different things for so many of you, so I may have to come back to it depending on what the other cards are, but it may be that some of you now have developed a new spiritual ritual. Some of you may be manifesting like crazy. And that's more in like a prescribed way, whereas you may be doing a manifestation ritual. For others of you, this is going to be a focus on bringing some kind of structure to your love life. Because the Hierophant, it can represent higher learning, institutions, anywhere where there are rules and customs and rituals and traditions. Maybe you're looking at what traditions and rituals are influencing your love life. Maybe you've always done things a certain way. Maybe you're going back to some kind of ritual or routine which is part of your culture. Because this is about rituals as well, this can sometimes indicate marriage. So some of you may be focusing now on that this is the year you want to get married, or you may be focusing on your marriage if you're already married. But the main energy of this card, and I mean, I'd love to go through every variation, but it's not possible to do that with so many of you. The main energy to take away from this card is one of structure. And that sounds kind of boring for some people. I mean, I'm an Aquarius sun, so the Hierophant always used to be my least favorite card when I first started learning the tarot, because I didn't like that whole conforming to any kind of rules or rituals or tradition. But even I've come to see the bonus or the positive in this card, which is that sometimes we need that structure. It helps us. It helps support us. It helps guide us. It gives us something to work with while we're trying to achieve the goals that we want. And in this case, the goals that you want in your love life. The energy coming up in the past for you is the Six of Wands. Now, I know I'm going to tell you the meaning of this card, and there's going to be Scorpios all over the place listening to this thinking, this did not happen. But trust me, it's happened. You've got the Six of Wands here. Six of Wands is about victory. It's about recognition for your achievements. And because of where it's come up, and because of the World card and the Hierophant card, I feel like whatever you were going through, and it felt like, I'm sure for many of you, it felt like you were absolutely alone. And I'll explain why I say this in a while, but it feels like you've been struggling on your own. There's not really been anyone there to help you maybe. Or you've just been going through like hardships one after the other, and you were so caught up in what you were enduring or the work that you were having to put in that you didn't really see anyone else around you. But it feels like really that even if no one actually said it to you, that, you've gone through so much, or you've achieved so much, or you've done so much, there are people that are watching. This may be a partner. This may be someone that's interested in you. This may just be your community, your friends, your family, those people around you. But everything that you've been through, Scorpio, it has been recognized. And even if no one else was there to give you a pat on the back, you yourself should have pride in everything that you've been through. And I know, like, in spiritual circles, pride is seen as, like, this awful thing that, we're not meant to be prideful. But I feel like we should give ourselves a pat on the back especially when we've been through so much. Some days just getting out of bed makes you a warrior. So, I believe you should be recognized for that, even if you just pat yourself on the back and say, well done for getting out of bed today. Now, the reason I'm so sure of this recognition, or, that even if you've not heard anyone say, even if you haven't felt that pride in yourself, it's because of this world card. It's always a successful completion. You did good, Scorpio. You did good. Even if it feels like you achieved nothing. But sometimes we can have a list of things that we want to achieve and we don't achieve them. So we feel like a failure because, maybe we didn't get to meet that partner. Maybe we lost a relationship. Maybe things didn't go right in the relationship, or there's problems in the relationship that we have. But sometimes it's all that you can do to survive it. And if you can survive those things with grace, that in and of itself is something to be recognized for. And that, in my book, counts as a victory. Moving on to the present, we have the Strength card coming up for you. Now, the card that comes up in the present, that's usually the majority of the period that the reading is for. So that would be this first half of February. This is inner strength. This is the strength to overcome any obstacles that come your way. So it's not telling you, the Strength card doesn't tell you that, everything's fine and dandy now, that you have no problems. It doesn't say that. But what it says is you're going to feel stronger when dealing with those things that do come up. I also feel that for some of you, you're going to have gotten that lust for life back. Even if it's not a lust for life, it's a lust for maybe just even lust. You may now be, have some of that passion come back. But while transitional phases are never fun, and you do have the World card sitting above the Strength card here, it feels like this transitional phase for you, it's only going to show you how strong you are. Realize your strength, Scorpio. You have like really strong cards here. Both the World card and the Strength card and the Hierophant, they're all major arcana cards. Major arcana cards indicate major life changes, things that happen in our lives. Whereas the minor arcana, like the Three of Swords, the Six of Wands, the Three of Cups, they give us more leeway to exercise our free will. I mean, we can always exercise our free will, but they just give us more room to do so. The major arcana, those are things that happen in our life, happen to us, and it's how we deal with them. That counts. But with the Strength card here, yes, you definitely have the strength to take on whatever comes your way now. And I think a lot of you are going to be feeling that. I mean, if you can, that's maybe what the Six of Wands is telling you. If you could survive all that, what can you not face this year? Then you have the Three of Swords coming up as a future energy. Now, some people see the Three of Swords as like a breakup or heartache. And yeah, it can sometimes indicate that, but I don't really see it here, not with so many strong cards around it. I mean, look at all of the cards surrounding it. You can tell even just by the colours that, they don't really look very negative. So in that case, how I always see the Three of Swords is an opportunity to heal. Don't forget, and I know people say that, and all anyone wants to hear when I do these readings, and trust me, I know, because people say it to me, they just want to hear, the good news, that love is coming, and all this kind of stuff. And that's not always the case. Sometimes we have to be prepared for love to come into our lives. And also, and this is something I'm going to talk about in an extra video that I am going to be doing. I'll probably be posting it in a couple of days, but I did want to add some extra information to the readings that I've done this time. I don't know if you're single. I don't know if this would be the time that you would even want to start a relationship. We've got Venus going retrograde next month. So why not use this time period before that, and even during the retrograde, to heal whatever needs to be healed, to make you that much stronger and that much more prepared for the new love that could come into your life. And even if you're in a relationship, if you've been experiencing problems, if you're looking to heal things within your love life, if you're looking to make a break or looking to change things up, and this is all from a place of empowerment. Don't forget the Strength card. I'm not saying someone's going to break up with you, so please don't be afraid of that. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that if there are changes that you want to make, if there are things that you've wanted to do, but you've just been in survival mode, now with this Three of Swords energy would be the time to do that. I always see this as healing issues. I actually really love the depiction on this card, because what we see is like this kind of barren, snowy landscape, and we have these kind of white roses growing out of that frozen solid ground. And they're so pure, and they almost kind of blend into the background. And we have these 3 swords above that with like blood dripping onto the roses. But you can see there's a vine growing around one of the swords. Now, what that says to me is that whatever these swords are, they're issues that have been there for a while. And I found in my own experience and in the readings that I've done that often it's when we're the happiest or when we're feeling the most stable that issues come up for us to deal with. And it's almost as if we're then feeling strong enough or healthy enough to be able to deal with them. Because when we're in survival mode, we're just trying to get from one minute to the next. And here it feels like you'll be dealing with that. You'll be getting rid of these issues. And nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to do the work. They just want to meet someone. But imagine if you met someone and they had like a whole load of issues. Would you really want to be with that person? We're always going to have issues. That's just human nature. We will always have issues and, how we deal with things. So it's a rare opportunity that we get the time and the space and the energy to deal with issues, clear them. And it's always a good idea to do them like when we're single or, when we've got that time to ourselves. So we're not kind of projecting them or dealing with them when someone else is there. Now, if you're in a relationship, this may be the healing of not your own personal issues, but issues within that relationship. That maybe there have been, problems there for a while now, which you've not known how to deal with them. But now you have the tools and the strength to be able to deal with them. And I also feel like if you felt like you didn't have the support in the past, you will have that support because you have the 3 of Cups coming up next. And this is the energy that you take into the second half of February with you. So it's around the middle of the month that this comes up. And the 3 of Cups it's a kind of almost like celebration, but it's also a card of support where you are supported and you support others. This usually is more of a friendship kind of card than a romance card. So you may now be connecting with your partner on a more of a friends level. And I think I don't know which other sign I said this to, but they got the 3 of Cups as well. That sometimes we can be in a relationship and we're not as open with our partner as we may be with our friends. So, with our friends, we'll discuss things, we'll say how we're feeling, but we don't always do that with our partner. And it may be now that you're connecting at that level. And not just that, you may be having more fun. You guys may be going out, having a drink if you drink, but just relating on that more casual, kind of getting to know each other again level. If you're single, you may be meeting someone through your friends. Your love life, it may transition over to more of a social scene. So, that's how you're meeting people through your friends or through groups of people. Both of these cards are 3s, like the 3 of Swords and the 3 of Cups. And they're side by side there. And I really do feel like you're not going to have to deal with the 3 of Swords all by yourself. And it's not going to be as bad as it could be because you have that 3 of Cups supporting it. And also you have the Hierophant above the 3 of Swords. So what that says to me is that it may be your kind of spiritual belief. It may be this routine. Maybe it's a group that you join or something of that nature that helps you through dealing with whatever issues you're trying to clear away. Some of you may begin a new practice. Some of you may be renewing your practice, your spiritual practice. And with the 3 of Cups and the 6 of Wands above it, that tells me that it's almost like you're being recognized by a group of people. So, maybe like I said, in the 6 of Wands, you might have felt like you've had to go it alone, but now you do not have to. You have that support network that's there for you, that loves you and cares for you. That can be your family, that can be your partner, that can be your friends, but whatever it is there for you. So what's the added guidance from the Oracle cards? Well, the first card that we have coming up for you is from the Romance Angels deck, and it is Worth Waiting For. And the card says, divine timing is at work in your love life. The message from the second Oracle card is actually very similar to this. And it's number 42, rest and relaxation is essential. And the card says, we all have a fundamental need to take breaks. That's what it feels like, what this period is. And I say a break, I think it's more of a break from the madness or, whatever you've been going through. Because you have the World card there, so things are changing. And like I said, it's very much a time of now appreciating everything that you've been through, appreciating how much strength you've shown and how much strength you've gained from everything that you've been through. So many opportunities to push forward. And I didn't actually realize that or, acknowledge that until now because I was in the thick of it for so long. And now I'm able to look back and say, I learned this, or I got through this, and that. And that's what this time feels like. So acknowledge the things that you've done, Scorpio. Acknowledge the great things that have happened to you. You've changed so much, and you are now getting a stronger, more surer footing. Yes, you have the Three of Swords coming up in the future, but I really don't think it's going to be as bad as that card seems, not with all those other cards around it, and not with the support that you have coming in for you.